Hi everyone, this is Tish Aitken, and today is the new moon in Leo, and I'm very excited to say that we've got a lot of energy in Leo, which rules the heart path. Leo is a fixed fire sign, which is very creative and romantic and fun and playful, and fire signs are very enthusiastic. So this is getting us out of this emotional eclipse energy that we all endured in the month of July. And Mercury, which rules communication and thoughts and ideas, is also stationing direct today at 23 degrees of Cancer, of the cardinal sign of Cancer, which is a degree that we're going to be talking a lot about in the next year. And that lunar eclipse in July on the 16th was at 24 degrees of Cancer. And next year, we're having the Saturn-Pluto conjunction in Capricorn at 22 degrees of Capricorn at the world axis. So it's very much about, restructuring and honing in the lessons that came up with that. But with that said, it's time to have some fun. And today is the new moon, and Venus, the planet of love and beauty, is conjunct this new moon in Leo. And it's actually the degree where Mercury originally stationed retrograde on July 7th, which was at 4 degrees of Leo, sorry. And so that is also giving us time to realize what we want to process with what came up in July, what we love and value. And this is definitely a time for initiating new beginnings and going for what you want. And the ascendant of this chart is 22 degrees of Aries. So again, that 22 degrees of the cardinal sign, and kind of reinforcing that whole story with Saturn and Pluto. But this is a really exuberant, happy new moon. Venus conjunct the sun and the moon is about having fun. It's about love. It's creativity. Leo rules the heart path. What do you want to create? And Mars is in Leo in the fifth house of romance, and as are the sun and the moon. So really initiating new beginnings around creativity and love. And so this is a wonderful thing. And I think that, Leo can sometimes be a little self-involved, but it's also a really fun, expressive fire sign. And now we're also, I'm discussing the full moon coming up, which is going to be at 22 degrees of Aquarius. And in that chart, there's still a lot of planets in the sign of Leo. There is the Venus is going to be conjunct the sun. They're actually going to be exactly conjunct on August 14th at 21 degrees of Leo. So you look to see where that falls in your chart, and that's initiating a new cycle of creativity and what you love and value. But the full moon itself falls on August 15th at 8:29 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and it's going to be at 22 degrees of Leo. And it's falling in the 12th house, which is the house of spirituality and creativity. And the moon itself is going to fall in the fifth house of romance and creativity, and it's a culmination. And Venus conjunct the sun is lovely, and right now Venus is technically conjunct the sun as well, although it's not exact, where it basically will be exact on the full moon. But Venus and the sun are going to be in opposition to the moon in Aquarius, and Aquarius is much more about agape love. It's more emotionally distant, and whereas Venus, in Leo is more fervent. It's more about romantic and individual love. But I think that there's a lot more of a creative and fun tone to the whole month, and we really start the month with a lot of Leo energy, and we end the month with a lot of Virgo energy. And I think that this full moon is going to bring culmination and fruition to things that you start now. So today is a good day. And with Mercury stationing direct, I still feel like I'm retrograde, but really it is stationing direct. It doesn't clear its shadow technically until the day of the full moon on August 15th. And that's when Mercury will again be at 4 degrees of Leo, where it's stationed retrograde. And so that will really help to bring up stuff that, you've been processing since this eclipse season in July with 5 planets retrograde. And 4 days before the full moon, on August 11th, Jupiter, which is how we expand, is going to station direct, and Uranus, which is how we get enlightenment, but also chaos, is going to station retrograde at 6 degrees of Taurus. So there's going to be a lot of energy with those two planetary shifts. And I think with the moon being ruled by Uranus, which is Aquarius, it's going to be a lot of enlightenment and could be a little chaotic. And Mercury having, will be at 4 degrees of Leo. It's going to form a square to Uranus and Taurus, and they will form an exact square the following day on the 16th. So that could be a little chaotic, but it could also be really brilliant and innovative and really give you more information about what you've been dealing with. Because although there has been such a change and lots of energy this whole month of July, it's been really confusing, and it's been hard to get things and launch things because 5 planets, including Mercury, were retrograde. And the nodes of fate are going to be at 15 degrees of Cancer and Capricorn. And that goes back to when the solar eclipse happened on January 5th at 15 degrees of Capricorn. So that might bring culmination and fruition to things that you began in the beginning of the year. But I think this month we have a lot more forward momentum. Having all this Leo gives a lot more confidence. And the other thing about today's new moon, going back a little bit to where we are now, is that there is a yod in the chart. So yod is known as the finger of God, and it's a sextile with 2 quincunxes. So Saturn and Neptune are forming a sextile. Saturn is what we structure, and South Node actually in Capricorn, what we restructure, what we're trying to anchor, forming a sextile to Neptune in Pisces, which is the dream and what you want to manifest potentially. And they're both in conjunct Mars and Juno. Mars is how we take action, and that's currently in Leo. And Juno is how we partner. So there could be fated elements definitely to this new moon, and there could be a little bit of readjustment, but I think that also catalyzes things. And I think this month, knowing that, right now the sun is in its rulership in Leo, Jupiter is in its rulership in Sagittarius, Saturn is in its rulership in Capricorn, and Neptune is in its rulership in Pisces, really helps to get things going. And we rarely have that kind of planetary, energy. So it's such a great placement. So go for what you want. Really try to do a ritual today and, start to move forward. It's a good time. So wish you a lot of luck. Thanks.